Good morning and welcome to another episode of Morning Java, brought to you as always by our friends at the Get Go Cafe and Market right around the corner, where they are now featuring the smokestack sandwich, which is Dale Lawley's actual favorite.
Yeah, some pulled pork, but they marinate and they smoke it, and it's just delicious.
16 hours of slow smoking is what they tell us. It's good stuff. We're at the Steelers mini camp, of course. You can kind of tell from the backdrop here. And the significant news, they have boxing bags here in case Dale needs to work out between segments. Ben Roethlisberger declaring we're still the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Right? Why not?
And I think that it's something that people tend to forget. If you look at this team, this roster, there are still 11 guys on this roster who have played or been voted to a Pro Bowl.
Right.
Look around the league, there aren't many teams that can say that. And I think that there's still a lot of guys here who are very accustomed to winning. Yes, they lost Antonio Brown. Yes, they lost Le'Veon Bell, but they didn't have Le'Veon Bell last year. This is still a good football team.
Yeah, and they feel probably even more emboldened, I would say, Dale, by the fact that they went through last year. Look, they didn't make the playoffs. There's nobody who would pronounce the season a success.
Right.
However, when they lost Bell, they had James Conner come in and be, for about 11 weeks, one of the NFL's most dynamic running backs. They replaced different people at different positions, and now you look at the way this camp has gone, and by that I mean, of course, OTAs, and it's just football and
right.
shorts and other stuff, but at the same time, they feel like they've put other pieces in place. They've now seen them with their own eyes. It's not just on paper.
Yeah, absolutely, and they feel like they had a really good draft. They like what they've added in the offseason. So there's a lot of reasons that they feel very good about this, not the least of which is they feel like Chris Boswell is going to have a bounce back.
Yeah, well, that would have made all the difference in 2018, wouldn't it? Now, it's way too early to pronounce anything of OTAs, or certainly after one day of minicamp, but when Ben Roethlisberger is asked to identify somebody that's impressed him, he didn't hesitate. He said Dante Moncrief.
Yeah, and it was both something that the quarterback says to kind of give that guy a boost.
Sure.
While also talking in truth. He's telling the truth there that he likes what he sees from this veteran wide receiver. He likes the group. I truly believe he feels that way. I truly believe that he is relieved that a certain diva wide receiver is no longer here. You don't have to force the ball to him like you typically did, or otherwise he throws a hissy fit on the sidelines. So I think when you look at Dante Moncrief, he fits well into this locker room in that they have some former Ole Miss guys, Mike Hilton, guys like that. Mm-hmm. But they've also got a quarterback who understands what he can bring to the offense, and I think he understands, having played with a franchise quarterback himself in Indianapolis,
yep.
and Andrew Luck, the thinking that the thought process of a franchise quarterback.
And the part that's impressed me the most related to Moncrief has been his maturity. He is only 26 years old, but he comes across as this very schooled veteran.
Yeah.
And the other aspect has been the versatility. I think we, in our research on Dante Moncrief, as the Steelers acquired him, and from what we've seen of him in the past, think of him as just a straight line, go get it, splash play guy. I was just speaking a little bit ago here with Darryl Drake, the wide receivers coach, and he really praised Moncrief for his abilities to do a lot of different things, but then he kept coming back to pulling away with the football. He said he can do special things.
4-4 speed.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't coach that.
That's what he said. He said there's things that he can do out there that other people can't once he gets the football. So that's been exciting. Now, Artie Burns is still here.
Yes, he is.
Confirmed.
Yes.
What are the chances that he's in Latrobe?
In Latrobe, I think the chances are very good. I think they take Artie Burns to camp with the thinking that if they have an injury, you have a guy who's there who's starter capable. He probably is not going to be as bad as he was last year, when I believe the passer rating against him was 143.6.
I think that's almost the maximum.
It's 158.3 is the maximum.
See?
Yeah. So he was not good last year, and he said that today. He says, I was not very good last year. When I asked him, what would you change over these last 3 seasons? I just wasn't very good last year. If you look at that, the year before, the passer rating against him was 65.6.
He was a very good cover corner, to the point that Keith Butler and Mike Tomlin trusted him in island-type coverage.
Right.
And that's where the idea that we're mad at him, so let's get rid of him, or he's due X amount of bonus, by certain date. The fact that he is still here and that he will be in Latrobe, I think, speaks to the Steelers saying, look, we still went and we shored up corner.
Right.
Okay, they went out and they got Steven Nelson to pair with Joe Hayden. They addressed it in the draft to an extent with Justin Lane, although he's going to be further along. But they went and they bolstered the position. But Artie's still here.
Yeah, and when I talked to him today, I said, what's your thinking on all this? He says, look, it's get better or get gone. And I think he understands the situation. He's still just 25 years old. He's actually 24. He's a young man.
It's crazy. I know. Some of these,
yeah,
the draft picks are late, and Juju and these guys that come in at like almost teenagers. It's nuts.
So I mean, there's still an opportunity there for him to not only make this roster, but even if that doesn't happen, to show enough on tape that he can play somewhere else in this league. I think he would be better served maybe going to a team that plays more man defense, that doesn't switch things up as much. If you get a 6th-round draft pick for Artie Burns, so be it.
Yeah, and the one thing about Artie that I think should be known to people, there are some who underperform or disappoint, and it's the result of not caring and not trying hard enough.
That's not the case.
That is not the case with Artie Burns. Very dedicated young man, and he is